recording it, so let's get that going. Oh, you got it recording? Okay.
All right, so welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining us for Be Social. So this is actually our fourth event that we're hosting now, and we're co-hosting this along with Empowered for Excellence. And we're going to hear from Chris Beth a little bit later about all the great things that they're doing at Empowered for X. Now, each event that we host actually has a really different theme that's related to entrepreneurship. So something that is going to help us take the next step in our business. And this month, our theme happens to be social media. So of course, as entrepreneurs, we know that we wear several hats during the day. And social media has become just a really important hat that we have to wear. Now, the one thing that I personally always struggle with when it comes to social media is just how quickly the social media landscape keeps changing. So I always struggle to try to stay on top of it. And I know that a lot of other people in our community are also, kind of having the same struggle. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing this particular themed event on social media. Now, we've brought in some social media experts, actually from the Jelly Social community, who are coming on here today to really help us out with social media, specifically for entrepreneurship. And each of our featured speakers, they're all going to be sharing social media tips and strategies, and they'll be doing it during 5 to 10 minute TED Talk style presentations. So while they're presenting, I just want to make sure that all of you have your pens and your pencils and your notepads ready, because you're going to want to take a whole bunch of notes. The people, again, our experts are here to give us really actionable tips and strategies. So you're going to have to pay attention, be on point, really take down the notes that they're giving us, or the tips that they're giving us, and make sure that you apply it into your business. So what I want to do right now before we move any further is really just to introduce some of our experts that we brought in today. So again, these are people from the Jelly Social community, and really well-versed in social media. They all have their different area of expertise. So first I want to introduce Tennille, who is going to be teaching us how we can better use LinkedIn for our business. Then we have Rita, who will be teaching us about influencer marketing, which of course is all the rage right now. We have AJ, who is going to be teaching us about how to use Facebook and Instagram ads. And we also have Pepper, who is going to be teaching us about the behavioral side of social media users. So how can we basically get more likes and users, understanding the user behavior. So those presentations are all going to be happening within the first hour of the event. And then in the second hour, we're going to be doing some really intense networking. So you're going to be able to meet our experts, as well as all of the other talented entrepreneurs that are with us on this call. So second hour will be intense networking. Now, before we do that, I just want to talk a little bit about Jelly Social and why we're hosting these events in the community in the first place. So Jelly Social exists really because of that statement right there. Some entrepreneurs face discriminatory boundaries due to our diversity. And what that means is, some of us have to work harder, some of us have to take less, struggle more than others, just because of our diversity. Now, this is an unfortunate reality of the world that we live in. But we at Jelly Social, so our entire Jelly Social community, we have a problem with that. So we believe in equal entrepreneurship. We believe in equal entrepreneurship for everyone. And our mission is to ensure that people of all races, of all cultures and all backgrounds have boundless opportunities to thrive as entrepreneurs. And we call this movement Entrepreneurship Without Boundaries. Now, if you want to support the Entrepreneurship Without Boundaries movement, there's really one simple thing that you need to do. You need to learn from, connect with, and collaborate with as many diverse entrepreneurs as possible. That's all you have to do. And the more you do that, the more you're creating boundless opportunities for everyone to thrive as entrepreneurs. But the entrepreneurship without boundaries movement, it can't happen without diversity. Now, I just want to take a minute just to clarify how we use the word diversity, because we use it a bit differently than most. So when we say diverse, we're actually having a really broad definition of diversity. So to us, there's actually two different types of diversity. There's something called inherent diversity, which refers to things like our race or our gender, our age, and so on. And then there's something called acquired diversity, which relates to our education, our experiences, our skills, our values, our knowledge, and so on. So as I'm saying this, I'm sure you're already thinking of all kinds of different things, both from inherent diversity and acquired diversity that represent you. And that's good, because there's going to be a ton of things on both sides that represent your diversity. So what I want to do right now, and this is something we do at each one of our Jelly Social events, is the diversity storm. So this is a really quick interactive exercise that's going to show us just how many layers of diversity are represented in this room right now. So I'm going to pause this presentation right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And what I want each of you to do is I want you to open up the messenger that you see in Zoom. Okay? And in the Zoom messenger, I want you to type in all of your different layers of diversity, both from the inherent diversity and acquired diversity side. And I want you to send it out, and just as many layers they can think of, just type it out and send it to the rest of the group. So I'm going to pause for a minute right now so that we can do the diversity storm. So everyone get going and start typing in all your layers of diversity. I'm going to start typing in too. Okay, so lots of things already coming in right now. Keep it going, keep it going. So I see African American female, herbalist. I see Anglophone in Quebec. I see bilingual. I see Afro-Métis. I see Trinidadian. I see runner, Indian, Pakistan, social media marketing, fine artist, Latin LGBTQ plus immigrant, marketing coordinator, BIPOC, daughter-in-law, legal advocate, 40s, Canadian Trinidadian, change agent, multiracial, African, and European. So we'll pause things right there. Thank you also for taking part in this. This is, as I mentioned, something we do at each one of our events. And the whole purpose of this is that sometimes when we think of diversity, we don't necessarily think of diversity as something that relates to us. But when we think about things, again, from inherent and acquired diversity side, you can see in that chat messenger right there, just all the different layers of diversity that really define us. So when we say diversity as in the Jelly Social movement that we're pushing out here, diversity really applies to each and every one of us in some way, shape, or form. So again, thank you all for participating. This is always a great interactive exercise. It's always great learning all the different layers of diversity that are present in the room. And I hope you all have taken something out of this as well. So let me go back to my presentation here. So again, that's the diversity storm. Now, the other thing that really defines our movement is collaboration. So when we collaborate with as many diverse people as possible, then that's when we start to create change as individuals. We can actually create change by collaborating with diverse entrepreneurs. So to us, collaboration is really simple. The way we define collaboration is any act, big or small, to support our peers however we can. And this could be something as simple as advice. It could be an introduction. It could be a social media shout out. It could be sharing skills or resources, or it could be something like a joint project or a venture. So really there's a wide spectrum of ways that we can collaborate. But the key message here is that any kind of collaboration support makes a huge difference. Okay, so I'm going to pause this presentation again for another interactive exercise, which we call the collaboration storm. So again, this is all about something a little bit more interactive to show us all how we can get into that collaborative mindset. So what I'm going to do, I'll pause this in a bit, but we're going to use the Zoom Messenger again, and we're going to complete these few phrases or these few sentences in the Zoom Messenger. So what you're going to do is you're going to type in your name. You're going to type in how this group can help you with your business. You can type in what you can offer to this group. And if you're comfortable with it, you can put your email address. But what we want to do is make sure that everyone has their information populated into the Zoom Messenger so that we know exactly how we can collaborate with each other. So I'm going to pause this right now. And again, we'll do this for a couple minutes, the collaboration storm. But use the Zoom Messenger. Again, your name, what you need help with, what you can offer, and your email address so that they can contact you as well. So let's pause for 2 minutes so you can do that. And try to send it in one message. Okay, and just in case you need it, I just posted in the chat there. So you're going to provide your name, your ask, your offer, and your email. Really simple. Now we're also planning on taking this information and using this, putting this into a Google Doc. So it'll be a running information that anyone in our Jelly Social community, we have about 4,000 people in the community, so any of them are going to be able to see this as well. So if you're looking for some support, then we'll make sure it gets spread out wide and far across our community. So again, I'll post it right here. Your name, your ask, your offer, and your email. And we'll give it another 30 seconds or so. All right. So thank you all for sharing that. And at any point during the event, if you want to post your details, maybe it changes throughout the event, or maybe you didn't get a chance to do it just yet, you feel free to post it in there. I'm going to save the entire chat, and you can save the chat as well before the end of the event. I'm going to save everything and stick it into our Google Doc and make sure that everything gets transferred over. So that is just a little bit of introduction about the event and Jelly Social, our host social mission. Now, before we go into the presentations and before I turn things over to our expert speakers, I just want to call on Chris Beth again, who is helping us co-host this event. So Empowered for X, and again, they're doing some great work. So Chris Beth, you want to take it away and tell us a bit about the work that you're doing?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Sanjit. Thank you so much. As Sanjit mentioned, my name is Chris Badkawi. I am the founder of Empowered Vex, and we are a business development center physically located in Brampton. We have a co-working space. However, due to COVID, our doors are locked. But one of the great things that's really excited and that's still happening is our virtual membership. Many people, when they're starting businesses, are oftentimes looking for an address outside of their home address. If you can relate, you may be looking at other spaces, business centers to start your business that way. The good thing about our community, we really aspire to make that initial startup cost for entrepreneurs affordable. And so our virtual membership is only $9.99 per month to maintain that business address for your company. So you have a professional look versus your own home. In addition to that, we really focus on helping entrepreneurs go from starting, so starting with a good idea, to commercialization. And we do so using our bootcamp and our business accelerator, working with subject matter experts like some of the ones you'd hear tonight, to really help you flush out and develop your business. I'm always excited to partner with the Jelly team because knowing that building community is part of the entrepreneurial journey, you don't have to do this alone. And that's what we invite folks to do with us here in our community. So I hope this event is proven to be rewarding, that you keep coming back, tell your friends, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chris Beth. Well said, as always. So with that, I'd like to start calling on each of our expert speakers. And I'd like to call on Tennille first. So if Tennille, whenever you're ready, you can start your presentation. And again, I'll send you a message just to let you know how much time is left. So whenever you're ready, Tennille, you can get going.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's go. So there is no ROI in anything if you don't learn how to use it. Gary Vaynerchuk said that, and I would agree. And the fact that you're here for this social media Jelly social presentations would suggest you agree as well. All right, hi, I'm Tennille, and I spent the last 7 years of my life showing people and showing companies how and where to position their product, messaging, and so they stand out online. Countless landing pages, published articles, and telling stories so enthralling that people often fall down the subscriber rabbit hole. I've been featured on a few media outlets like Huffington Post, and most recently, my latest initiative, the She Fund, an e-commerce brand that helps build access to capital for women-led businesses, was featured on TikTok. And now I'm presenting 5 strategies you can use on LinkedIn so that under no circumstance do you become a spam ham in your connections LinkedIn inbox. You've seen them. You've probably even fallen prey to an inbox spammer too. So what you really want is for people to be interested in you and not turned off. If they like what they see from you on their feed, they'll naturally want to know more or hire you. It's a process. There's levels to this. So let's be strategic in our efforts to gain our connections' attention. So you've heard of quality over quantity. Well, I'm going to introduce you to value over volume. That's that copywriting skill kicking in. This is the add the guac important. No matter if you have 10 or 500 plus connections, do you want to know how to leverage the ones you already have? So the first thing you want to do is obviously share visual status updates, like post images, videos, and even documents directly to your feed. We know this. LinkedIn's algorithm prioritizes high quality posts. So yes, multimedia rich content is more likely to outperform your regular schmegular ones. So for example, be value giving, less megaphone announcements, and more of a 4-page letter. Don't generalize your social media posts, articles, or newsletters. Address the room, not the stadium. And you can do this by sharing industry insights that are helpful, not promotional. So image posts get two times more comments than regular text posts, video posts 5 times more comments. But I'd like you to try uploading a document option. So think of a PowerPoint presentation, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Try uploading a document the next time you upload on LinkedIn, and you'll see the results, because I've noticed that there has been a lot more views on document uploads than on images or videos. All right, number 2, comment and like other people's stuff. Hint, great post is a lazy Susie comment. So this strategy comes in handy when you don't know what to post, right? So many times you're always thinking, what do I post? I don't know what to post. And that keeps you frozen, and then you don't post anything. Well, comment on other people's stuff instead. They've done the legwork already. All you got to do is scroll your timeline and write insightful comments. Like I mentioned before, a great post is not insightful. Telling the author your key takeaway or how it has helped you is. So comments and likes on other people's posts boost your network reach. You end up showing up on your connections feed by doing this simple thing, commenting. You don't have to try to come up with something original or creative to say. You just need to read what someone else wrote and respond like you're having a conversation. So while we're here, this applies to responding to comments on your own post too. If you do get up the nerve to post something and someone does like or comment on your own post, reciprocate that engagement. This is a surefire way to stay top of the timeline with little to no effort. 3, send direct messages. Wait, what? I know I said at the top of this presentation that you should not spam anybody in their inbox, and I meant that. But the exception is only to warm connections. So warm connections are those you've met in person, formed somewhat of a cordial relationship online, or commented, like, shared their stuff more than once in the past. So don't be a spam ham. I have crafted this copy that you could screenshot and use in the future. So personalized and direct DMs are appreciated. However, don't go for the hard ask right away. It's okay to ask for an intro or your thoughts on a subject or their thoughts on a subject. So what I have here is, hi, Samantha, I've been following on LinkedIn and I'm impressed by insert high praise here, which made me want to reach out. I would love to get your take on / how well do you know so-and-so? Do you mind if insert soft ask here? Insert snippet of your professional focus or reason for soft ask. Thank you, me. Something you can try in the future. And while we're here, LinkedIn DMs gives email updates as well to the recipient of said DM. So if you DM someone on LinkedIn, they're gonna get an email notification that you message them on LinkedIn. So don't waste that opportunity to be noticed. Actually have quality content, let's call it that, in someone's inbox. Number 4, use hashtags in your posts, because this comes with notification alerts. I've also noticed, have you noticed notifications are trending in your notifications button? So trending posts that use relevant hashtags is showing up on your notification alert. It's a thing. This is an easy way to stay top of the timeline. Start by using hashtags in your updates and watch for what people are talking about, trending news, and jump into these conversations. This will expose your content to those with similar interests and even notify your network. So here are a few examples of what that looks like when I say, when your notification alert comes on and this person is trending in this hashtag, start using relevant hashtags in your post as well, so that your whole network is alerted when you're trending. And lastly, be featured in LinkedIn news. Here's how. And you can become sort of like a LinkedIn influencer. Building upon my last slide, leverage storytelling via this special post. Follow LinkedIn editors, and when they ask to weigh in on a topic relevant to your industry, do it. So major key alert. When you follow a LinkedIn editor that's within your industry, It's an opportunity to be highlighted on their newsletter. So LinkedIn has a newsletter that is baked into the platform. And that newsletter gets blasted to millions on LinkedIn and also notifies your network when you're featured. Cool. Well, what do I write? So remember when I said to respond to other people's posts as if you're having a conversation with them? The same thing applies here. The things that will resonate with your audience are usually the same things that will resonate with you. What makes you laugh? What makes you think? What makes you feel inspired? Create a one-on-one connection via behind the scenes or storytelling content. This is a great way to think about the frequently asked questions you get in your own business and implement them in the comments on an editor's post. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, Amanda and Sanjeet, for inviting me to present today. For the folks that are here, we can connect via LinkedIn if you're up for it. Be sure to mention in the connection request that you found me via this Jelly Social, and please, no spam. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I was taking a whole bunch of notes. Really good stuff there, Tennille. So what I want to do, well, again, we're going to pause for about a minute. So I know there's probably a lot of you with questions on your mind that you want to send over to Tennille. So I want to pause for a minute right now. I want you to find Tennille in the messenger. So send her a private message, basically, with your question and your email address. So send all your questions over to Tennille as a private message, and Tennille will get back to you. So let's pause for about a minute so that you can do that. And I have a couple questions for you too, Tennille. And again, don't forget your email address so Tennille can get back to you. Okay, so we'll pause there. That's our Q&A storm, by the way, and we're going to be doing that after each one of our presentations. So Tennille, I'm sure you got a bunch of questions that came in. So you can respond to them, after the event. You have everyone's emails. And just so for everyone else to know as well, we'll be sending out a follow-up email as well with all of Tennille's contact information. So thank you so much, Tennille. A lot of great information. And I'd like to pass things over now to AJ.
All right, thanks, Sanjeev. I don't have a presentation. I'm just going to talk. My name is AJ, and I own a company called SoulsNet. And since it's a brand management and marketing company based out of Mississauga, and we are here since 2004. So the topic today I'm discussing is Facebook ads. You all know when you're posting something on Facebook, there always that blue button in the bottom right saying boost your post. And if you're a business owner, small business owner, or any other business, you are encouraged to boost your post to create an ad. So that's how Facebook has made advertising on Facebook so very easy. Anybody can go in, create an ad, put their credit card information, and voila, let's go. So I'm not going to talk about how to create ads and stuff in that scenario. Uh, but one thing I will mention is that part of boosting an ad, sometimes that is a problem in getting the ROI on your ads. I'll give you an example. Somebody, so for example, let's say you have a candle, custom candles or custom soap business. You post a picture of your new product, new design, and then you boost it because you're looking to get some sales out of it. What happens in the background is you do boost the post, you put in some money on it, and you're expecting that boosted post may result into sales. What's happening actually is when you're boosting a post in that way, Facebook is creating that as a post engagement ad. So they are not focusing or targeting people who may be more interested in buying your product. Rather, they are boosting or your post to the people who are more interested or likely to engage, comment, like, or share that product. So you'll do get some engagement out of it, but if you're looking to sell that product, you may not get that sales out of it. So that's why it is very important when you are creating an ad, you have a clear idea of what is the objective of creating that ad. And that is where it is important that you create the ads using Facebook Ad Manager account. With Ad Manager account, you have the options to select based on your objective what kind of ad you want to run. So in a nutshell, these objectives can be divided into three major categories. Uh, I call them connect, engage, and close. Connect is more of you are spreading awareness about your brand. Engage is more about, you want to generate some leads or conversions. And the close ads are more towards your selling your product or service to your target audience. Now, when you are creating these ads in any of these three categories, the most important thing is defining your audience. If you're creating an ad and showing it to everyone, let's say in Mississauga, they all may not be your audience. They all may not be interested in your product. So you have to make sure you target the audience who are more likely to engage with your service or product. Facebook does have a very powerful audience insight tool where you can go in and research for your target audience. What we call it is your ideal customer persona, like who is that person who will be most interested in engaging with your brand, making a purchase with you, or buy your service, whatever you're offering. And you can create that persona by studying your current customers and audience, finding out what they do, where they live, uh, what kind of hobbies they have, and like their lifestyle, demographics and stuff like that. And based on that, you can create an ideal persona for your ideal customer. And then when you are going into the advertisement mode, it doesn't matter if it is on social media or any other platform, you will have an idea of who you want to target. And when you target those ideal client, there are more chances that you'll have a better engagement and better ROI on it. Now, the other aspect of getting into Google Ads is you also need to study or understand, like what kind of a budget or time you have to spend on Facebook ads. When you're creating an ad, you need to put in a lot of time to do some study and research. And the other thing is these Facebook ads are always a slow process. You will not get the results right away. You have to be patient. The three stages I talk about, connect, engage, and close, usually they are part of a funnel. So when you create an ad campaign, the ideal way of doing is you do a connect campaign, which is more of engaging the audience with sharing, commenting on your post. That way you have a little database. Based on that database, then you can create an engagement ad, which will encourage them to do a conversions, fill up a lead form, sign up for your email campaign or something. And then the last is the close. So when you have that data, you then show them and try to convert them into a buying mode. There is another way of doing it, going to reverse. The reverse, I say, because you want to test if your sales um, funnel, the close ads are working. So you can do is try to create sales ad and target only the people who have already connected with you, and see what kind of see if your close ads are working properly. If you're not satisfied with that, I know I have a 1 minute, so um, if you're not satisfied with that, then you can do some more experiments and things like that. um, Point I want to say is when you do social media ads, you get a lot of data. The key to success in social media ad is analyzing that data on the people, what they are doing with your ads, what they are doing, how they're interacting with your ads, engagement, filling up the forms and everything. And based on that, you modify your ad campaigns so to try to get them get the results you are actually looking for. I think my 1 minute is up.
All right. Thank you
So,
so much, AJ. And yeah, and having worked with AJ, AJ really, really knows his stuff when it comes to like social media advertising in general. So he's actually worked on a whole bunch of stuff for us. So how about, I think we pause for about a minute. And again, if you have any questions about social media advertising, how about you send it over to AJ as a private message. So again, use the Zoom Messenger. And we'll pause for a minute so you can send your questions over along with your email address, and AJ will get back to you. So let's pause for a minute to do that. All right, so thank you so much, AJ. A lot of informative stuff as always. And now I'd like to pass things along to Pepper. And Pepper's presentation is about the 5 psychological effects used in user experience. So whenever you're ready, Pepper, you can get started.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Do I have that capability?
Yeah, you do.
Great. Can you see my slides?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Pepper Brooks, and I'm going to be talking to you about UX and the 5 psychological effects for your e-commerce strategy. Okay. So I am a UX designer and a marketing strategist, WordPress web designer, graphic designer, digital artist, and photographer. So that makes me a creative strategist. And if I'm speaking too fast, if someone could just let me know, because I just want to make sure that everybody can comprehend what I'm saying. And also, if there's anybody that has any accessibility issues, if you need me to describe something that's in the PowerPoint, please let me know as I continue. So I'm going to just jump ahead just for the sake of time. I'm going to just start off by talking about empathy. So empathy is the ability to understand and share what someone else is feeling. It's about feeling with someone, and you can't have user experience design. Sorry, that's my timer. You can't have user experience design without empathy. So in UX, we call it shoe shifting. So it's the ability to step into somebody else's shoes. And I'm sure that you might have heard that saying before. If you want to experience what someone is going through or experiencing, you should step into their shoes and walk a mile. So in UX, we call that shoe shifting. So what is user experience? So it was coined by Don Norman, who was the person who took the regular phone that we used to just be able to make telephone calls and text and turn it into an Apple iPod. And so it was about taking a phone and giving the user an experience with the phone instead of just the capabilities. So user experience is about science, technology. It's also about art and, of course, empathy. So why is user experience important? It's because it builds customer loyalty, because when we understand customers and they understand us, it builds a connection. It also is great for your return on investment and conversion rates. And it's also about efficiency and productivity. So when we all got this new iPhone or this new iPod, it gave us more productivity tools and the capability to do more things with our phones. So that's just an example of user experience working for users. This is another example about of user experience. So as you can see, can you see my mouse? A nod, and yeah, great. So this is about designing before consulting with the user. So as you can see here, this was designed, a nice little pathway. I'm sure it looks beautiful. We all have seen that, but users tend to create their own pathway. And so what this should have happened is that they should have made this whole area grass and then have users use them. And then the users would map out where they want to have the pavement or where they want to have the architectural design, and then pave it after that experience. So this is an example of user experience versus design. This is another example of good design versus good user experience. So this is a beautiful design. It's glass, it's a bottle, it's sustainable. And all of us have grown up, well, a lot of us have grown up with a glass bottle. But you know, when you get down to that bottom and you're trying to tap out that last bit of ketchup, it was always hard. So a better user experience is making the bottle plastic so you could squeeze out that last bit of ketchup. You could turn it upside down so all the ketchup is at the bottom. So this is a good design versus a good user experience. So we all have these remotes at home and they probably have like 100 buttons on them, but are they good user experiences? No. I remember my mom came over to my house and she ended up just watching, staying in the living room. And when I came in, I asked her, like, were you sitting here the whole entire time? And she said yes, because she didn't know how to turn on the television. So this is another example of users telling us what they need. They blocked off certain areas on the remote. So, because those are the only buttons that they need for their experience. So what happened after that is Apple and Samsung created a remote that just had simple buttons. They listened to the users and then they made the experience even better. So what do you want to think of when you're thinking about UX? You want it to be useful, you want it to be usable, and you want it to be desired. And this is something that you could bring over to social media too. So now we're going to talk about bad user experience. This is a cockpit. If you don't know what's happening here, this could be a horrible user experience. So can I get in the chat if anybody can guess what this is? If you already know what it is, let's let the participants guess. But if you don't, I want to hear your best guess as to what's inside these bottles. I'm not able to see the chat. If someone could read some responses. Yeah, so we are seeing floor cleaner, juice, fruit juice, cleaning supplies, floor cleaner. Okay, great. Thank you, Chris Beth. So, so a lot of the guesses were right.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Okay, I haven't had that in years. I kind of miss Kool-Aid, but it's bad for you. It has lots of sugar. But this is floor cleaner, but a lot of us wouldn't know that because it looks like a bottle of Gatorade. So as you could see on the design, it has like a floor and then, you know, different scents, but who would know that this is floor cleaner? So this, let me read it over here. So this was posted on Facebook. Someone said, I bought this juice the other day and I was thinking it was gonna taste good, but because it had a Spanish name on it, but don't buy it. It tastes really, really nasty. So because they thought, look at the bottle, it looks like juice. This is bad user experience, and this is also a bad design. So I just want to talk to you quickly about diversity with UX. A lot of us own Fitbits or we own like Apple Watches. And so what happened with Fitbit when they came out with their watch, the heart monitor, they didn't want to go for the expensive heart monitor, which was red. It was actually green. So the green monitor cannot penetrate through deeper skin tones. And so a lot of Black and brown people were going to the hospitals because their heart rates were giving an outrageous number. And they realized that the heart rate monitor that they had on the Fitbit was giving an inaccurate reading because it couldn't read through brown and Black skin. So this is, they didn't test it, obviously, on people with deeper melanin. So this is an an example of bad user experience. Can I get a time check?
We're at 7.5 minutes.
Okay, so why do we care about UX? Because users won't use your products or services if it's not built for them, because it can cause unnecessary harm, and because good UX matters. So I'll get quickly into the the 5 psychological effects. Social proof, you always want to make sure that you have 4.8 to 4.9 rating when you have a review. If it's perfect, people won't trust it, or 4.2 to 4.8, sorry. If it's perfect, people won't trust it. If it's below 4.2, people won't buy it. So, and also too, you see at the bottom, 13 people viewing this right now. So this is an example of social proof. I'm going really fast, I'm really sorry. Another example is adding how many products or services are sold. Also here, having a rating. This is called social proof. This is called the decoy effect, is when you have 2 products, then the most expensive product is always going to look expensive, but when you make the most expensive product in the middle and add a decoy at the end, then it doesn't look as expensive anymore, and then this could become your sellable item. We've seen this at the movie theater when we all used to go to the movies back in the day when we didn't have a pandemic. They would always make the middle option or the medium option very close in price to the large option. So you just chose the large because the medium option or the middle option is the decoy. Scarcity effect is it's a cognitive bias. It's placing a higher value on an object that is scarce. So you might have gone into a website where they say it's a 48-hour discount, buy this within 48 hours, but if you go there in 72 hours, it's gonna say the same thing. So they're trying to get you to make a sale with a little bit of scarcity. Hyperbolic discounting is trying something at home, hoping that you don't return the item after you try it at home. Subscription boxes, loyalty programs. So HelloFresh, a lot of us have tried that during the pandemic, hoping that you put in your credit card and then you forget that you bought it. Also, optimum points. Very rarely do we ever redeem our points. So it's just a way for you to present your card so they know what user is buying the product, and they use that data to sell more things to you. We've all seen these new dispensers. This is hyperbolic discounting. When you choose what kind of drink that you want, there's actually a computer in the back that sends the information directly to Coca-Cola, and it shows them what the users in that area like to drink. And so then they'll take let's say the convenience stores or the supermarkets, and they'll add those drinks in that area. This is the framing effect. So this yogurt, it says 20% fat. So when you read 20% fat, you think, oh my gosh, I don't want something that has 20% fat. But when you frame it differently, 80% fat free, then now it seems like a better deal. But really it's the same thing. It's still 20% fat, but they just framed it differently. These two products are made by Coca-Cola. This has a high content of sugar, but they framed it as vitamin water, but a lot of people don't know it has the same amount of sugar or very close. Deceptive UX, if I have time, do I have time? Thumbs up or no?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay.
How about 1 more minute? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. So this is misdirection. This is bad psychological effects. So you have a download button here, a download button here, a download button there. So they're hoping that you click on the button. Every time you click on the wrong button, they make money. They make, because it brings you to an ad. So they're hoping to make at least $1 or $2 from you clicking on the wrong button. This is also misdirection. Google, if you've seen at the top, now they're just placing the box ad, but before they never used to do that. So people used to click on the top area of your inbox, and it used to bring you to an ad. Netflix, we know, forced continuity. If you want to go further, you have to put in your credit card information. That's bad UX. So bad UX can be risky business. Use psychology, but don't abuse it. And I won't recap because I'm sure you can remember what I just said or play the recording. And treat the golden rule is to treat the user how you want to be treated. And thank you. You can see me and connect with me on Instagram at Pepperbrooks Media.
All right, thank you so much, Pepper. And yeah, a lot of great points again. So how about we pause for a minute? We can do our Q&A storm. So whatever questions you want to send over to Pepper, please send it over now in the next minute. And also make sure to include your email address. So let's pause for a minute to do that.
I just want to say I'm getting some really great comments and some interesting questions. So I look forward to answering all of them for you. And thank you again.
Thank you so much, Pepper. So let's throw it over to our final speaker, Rita. Whenever you're ready, you can get going.
Hi guys, super happy to be here and seeing all of you guys. And it's amazing that, we can all be here, even though, times are a bit tough and we're all stuck at home. So hopefully I'm able to kind of combine all of the elements that you guys are looking for and you've put into the chat and deliver a presentation that is not only able to help you guys out, but I'm open to collaborations and connecting with you guys after if you guys are interested in looking for different kind of brand collaborations or working with influencers, and I'll give you guys a brief of how that works. So that's just gonna kind of dive in. I'm going to be looking at how to use influencer marketing for your brand, and I think it's a very important aspect of marketing and digital marketing, marketing strategies these days, especially because not only does it humanize your businesses and brands, but it also creates an example of how you are working with different people and how you speak to different audiences. Now, before we kind of get this started, I'm just going to give you guys an basically update of how this thing will work and how I'll kind of go about it. I'm going to kind of talk about my journey as an influencer and a digital marketing strategist. I will help you guys in a short form, kind of explain and grow, help you understand how you can grow your businesses with social media marketing, and give you some digital strategies for the new normal, which is obviously a weird time we're in right now. And then I'll kind of go over how you can look at what's next in terms of social selling. So let me kind of just dive in. So a little about me. I teach public relations and digital marketing by day, and I am a social content marketing or do social media content marketing by night. And I work and promote small and local businesses, as well as connecting businesses and brands to other content creators and influencers. A little story about myself. I did not always, basically I started off as a 9 to 5, in a 9 to 5 kind of job. And I didn't always create my own rules and define my own hours and work with whoever I wanted to. I was, I think, a very conformist, and I enjoyed rules, I enjoyed principles, and I like that way. It was my kind of way of learning. And then I went to OCAD University, where I did a master's in digital futures, and obviously I followed it up with my different way of looking at things. So I realized that people want authentic connections. People want to network. People want to hear and be heard, and they want their stories to be compelling. And I realized that I wanted to create a platform that not only did that, but it was a virtual space where people could come together and really feel close to each other. And that is how how my presence kind of came about, how my brand came about. And I started connecting with a lot of different industries, experts, social marketers, and that's how my brand started. Now, my brand was obviously not something that I knew much about. I didn't know how to go about it. It was experimental. It was very ambitious initially, and I didn't know which angle I was going into. But I started as an influencer, content creator. For anyone who's not familiar with the influencer, content creator, or digital media marketing or specialist, an influencer is a specialist or someone who is an expert in their field. Now, I obviously had just started, and I was really excited about different potentials and different things. And it started as a specialist or specialized in food, as we all love food, right? And I started with a space where I would tell people where they could eat and where they could get specialty food, and really kind of explore that option. I basically did not know my market as well as I wanted to. So I used to research, I used to look up things, I used to attend seminars, I attend courses and classes, and obviously that kind of led me to teaching as well. But that's how my brand Girls on a Roll began, because I wanted to collaborate with other women and other entrepreneurs and other amazing people who were also on a roll. So the honor roll can also, at that point, was also food or food kind of related. So on a roll. And I also basically signified that I wanted to be on a roll and do multiple things and be multiple people for everyone kind of thing. So if you kind of look at influencers, it's about connecting with the right influencers, right creators, ambassadors, brand reps, and kind of moving your brand and business forward. So it's not just about who your brand is or how your brand can kind of move forward. It is about what you want to do for your brand. And we all know that, as great as marketing is, we need something else as well. We need a human touch. We need a person who can speak for the brand. We need someone who can associate themselves with the brand. And that is how I came about working with other influencers. An influencer could be your target audience. An influencer could be an influencer in your niche. So if you're talking about health, wellness, anything basically. You can have someone who's a spokesperson for your brand or what your mission is or your brand or your business is. It also is about how big of influencer do you want. How do you want a smaller influencer? Do you want a big influencer? Do you want people with a lot of following? Do you want people with a small engaged following? It's all about how does your content fit in with these people and your brands. It's also about your engagement. How do you want them to connect with you? Do you want them to buy from you? Do you want them to promote you? Or do you want them to do a bit of both? And that is what I can speak for influencers, where they don't just buy your product or promote your product, but they become tied to you forever as a spokesperson, as a brand associate, as someone who they're or a brand they're interested in. So consumers are more likely to believe a recommendation to someone that they can relate to on social media. So think about the last time you connected with someone, or think about the last person you saw on Instagram or Facebook who you were inspired by, the journey. So automatically you are going to be more compelled to follow their footsteps, or you're going to be more compelled to see what they're buying, what they're wearing, right? So we want to be our mentors. We want to be like our, like a following, that people who have those following, we want to aspire to be like them. So how do you connect with these people? So you do this through storytelling, basically. So you look at how does your brand fit in with these influencers, their community, and their followers. What avenues do they currently own? And what campaigns do you want your influencers to create? Now, these people, or us basically right now, we're willing to try anything, right? We're willing to try new places. We're willing to try new products. We're willing to try pretty much anything. I can speak for most of the moms, being a mom myself, that as a mom, I'm willing to buy anything for my child, as long as my child can do better, be better, and feel better. So I am open to everything, right? So I automatically want to connect with mom bloggers or other influencers in the space. And that's how I do it. I start connecting with other influencers. I start connecting with other co-creators, content creators, and I will do anything an expert in the field tells me. So that is what I kind of looked for. So the 5 trends and community growing techniques are, it's all about influencers who have a smaller audience, but more connected audience. So it's all about engagement. It's not about 100,000 followers, or it's not about the numbers. It's all about who can you connect with. It's also about letting them decide how to create the content for you. Connecting and tracking these influencers with high engagement, tracking ROI, which is results on investment from Instagram, and then following these Instagram experts and influencers in their fields and their platforms. So there are new fields now and there are new platforms now. There was Instagram and Facebook, yes, but now we've got Clubhouse, which is like an audio live space where you can talk to people, where you can network with people. And it's all live podcast kind of experience. You have sessions with them, you have live panels with them. You do not have to turn your video on just like you have to do on Zoom. You can just be audio. And then finally, you've got your TikTok, right? So where basically TikTok started off with, random videos, funny videos. It's now become a platform for marketing. So social media has now changed the entire landscape in terms of how we shop, dine, socialize. And we need socialization more than ever. We are human beings. We are social beings. We love to talk to people, and we aren't able to due to this pandemic and lockdown. So how do we connect? And this is how we connect. We look at how basically brands work. We look at how businesses are working, and we're obviously going to help however we can. So how this works is that 71% of consumers are most likely to make a purchase based on their social media presence or looking at social media. 3 out of 4 customers have said that they decide a dining spot based on what other people share or the comments and photos from other people. 30% of the millennials basically avoid a place if it doesn't look good on Instagram. An average 18 to 35 years old spends more than 120 hours on Instagram, on Facebook. And basically, it's really important to kind of look at these new streams of marketing, being affiliate marketing, social selling, or specialized influencers and collaborations. So as I said, influencers are just basically specialists in their area or their field. And they can be anyone. They don't need to be just these bloggers, or they don't need to be just content creators. They can be pretty much anyone who knows about the content. who has some certification or who has some experience with their content. So what do you do now? How do you get involved now? And how can you use these social media experts or digital marketers or influencers to kind of connect your brand to other audiences and your customers? And you do this by connecting with a social media manager. You do this by connecting with different people who are working as freelancers and who can work with different influencers. And you are more than welcome to connect with me, because I work with influencers from all around the GTA, Canada, and now America. So I can connect you with other brands, other influencers, and other basically people looking for experts and specialists. So if you guys feel like you need to take your brand or business to the other level or humanize your business or brand, you can always connect with me and I can help you out in terms of connecting you to influencers and other experts in the field of area. That is it from my end. I am more than happy to take your questions and answer anything. I know the time, I could talk about this forever, so I know the time is always a restriction, so I wanted to keep it short. But you guys can feel free to connect with me through email or connect with me on my Instagram. So my page is literally just called Girls on a Roll. And yeah, you guys can feel free to ask me any questions if you have any. I would love to hear from you guys and hear your thoughts about anything that you guys want to know about. Or if you want to become an influencer, as I can see a lot of people messaging me directly, I can definitely help you kind of start there, and then we can definitely start connecting you to other brands, businesses. And yeah, just to kind of give you a heads up and an idea, I was able to kind of quit my full-time job and start working for different businesses and brands and connecting them with different influencers. So that's become my freelancing full-time gig now. I still enjoy teaching, so I'm having a hard time quitting that. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys and love to hear how we can kind of work together. And if your brand needs a boost, I'm definitely here to help you out. And that is it from my end, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rita. I think the questions are already coming in for you. So we'll pause for about 30 seconds or so, just so anyone else who has any lingering questions, just send a private message over to Rita. Again, your question and your email address. So we'll pause for just a bit so we can do that. Q&A storm.
And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I'm loving the comments, and I will definitely love to help you guys out. I'm just going to share my, because I think that's something I should have shared. Just didn't hear me. I will share my profile for my Instagram right now. My website is under construction, but I will share my website here and, sorry, my Instagram here, as well as my email address. And I would love to connect with all of you guys.
All right, thank you again, Rita. Amazing stuff, and I got a lot of great notes as well. So we're gonna now move into our networking portion. So again, an hour of intense networking coming up. You're gonna be able to meet with our experts. You're gonna be able to meet with other people in the room. Before we do that, I'm just going to play a short video. So again, we're using a different platform called Icebreaker. And I'm just gonna play a short video so you know how to get yourself set up before we jump into the networking. So I'm going to share my screen and show you a little bit about Icebreaker. Thank you for joining us for the event. We're about to get into our intense networking portion. And just want to make sure that you're able to get set up, because we are going to be using a different platform in order to do our networking. We're using a platform called Icebreaker. Now, you should see a link provided to you in the messenger, in the Zoom messenger. So just click on that link and you'll be taken to this page that you see right now. Now, once you get to this page, just enter in your name And just a little question, who would you like to meet? Hey, myself, I would love to meet Ramdas. And once you've entered in your details, just click that pink button to join the event. Now, at this point, it's going to ask you to sign in with your Google account. So all you need to do is click that button there, and it'll get you access to the platform. All right, and once you're in, you're going to get this welcome message. And most important thing here is to make sure you allow camera and mic access. You're going to click that pink button. It's going to do a quick test for you. Just make sure you allow your mic and your camera. And you can do the few tests. Can you see yourself? Yes, I can see myself. Is the microphone volume indicator changing? Yes, it is. And then we're set up. So we're going to hit got it. And now we're ready to start networking. So once you get to this page, just wait for the host to give you the next prompt. And what they'll do is they'll automatically put you into a networking group. And at that point, you're going to get automatically rotated from one group to another. So main thing is you just have to get to this page, and then the host will take you the rest of the way. So thank you so much, and let's get networking. All right, so the link I was talking about in that video, I'm just going to post it right now. Let me just grab the link. Okay, so you can take a look at the chat messenger in Zoom, and you'll see a link that starts with Icebreaker. Click on that and just follow the instructions that you saw in the video. And once you're in, you can log off of Zoom, and we'll gather together in Icebreaker.
And for those on the call still, make sure to save your chat. So once you start saving your chat, that way you have all the details in there before you hop off. Oh yes, and thank you, Chris Beth. I'm going to stop